In the later regime of Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I became Minister for Private Sector Development, Public-Private Partnership. And presently, I'm still the Member of Parliament for Wa Central in the 6th term, and I'm the President of the African Parliamentarians Forum on Population and Development. So, now being appointed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, very gracious and very thankful to him, and thanks to the Almighty Allah as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We proceed with the vetting questions by honorable members. It is my pleasure to start giving the floor to the subject matter committee members under our own standing order 2172. So I will start with the minority members of the subject matter committee, and on the list I have is Adelaide Ntim.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations. Minister Designate, as the incoming Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment, can you share your opinion with Ghanaians regarding the concept of the 24-hour economy proposed by the current administration? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. The 24-hour economy is a policy initiative by the present NDC administration, proposed to the people of Ghana and accepted by them because they overwhelmingly approved it by the votes. It is a commitment to ensure that we engage the Ghanaian worker effectively within 24 hours and ensure that in the 3 working space of the 24 hours we live, we have each period of working space 8 years. We can engage people within that space of 8 years at within the period of 8 hours. And the 8-hour calculated in 3 space will give you 24 hours. But the whole commitment is about ensuring that we work tirelessly to ensure the point when Ghanaians fight our working class, of the people working for the public service and for the private sector can earn what they deserve. So within 24 hours, there are a lot of institutions and organizations that can be occupied within this space of period or time.
Much. Any further question?
I will follow up or...
Please, you have the floor.
No, thank you.
Well, I will then give the floor to
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, I accept. I think you have clearly defined that working hours are 8 hours, and within that space, within the 24 hours, it will be efficiently into working. What I would like to find out is that as the economy pertains at this point in time, don't we have certain sectors of our economy working within that 24-hour cycle? I can easily cite the case of even the breweries. What makes this particular 24-hour economy so special? And how can it also reset the economy as you are talking about?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. the concept and policy direction of it is to give vent to businesses, to make it not just a choice, but a policy decision by the state, to ensure that in doing so, businesses can be supported. Those businesses that were not in 24 hours can now be supported to join the rest. It's no longer going to be as and when I like it, but just when I like it and backed by government policy. So it is true that several organizations are already working 24 hours, and that's giving credence to the fact that we can get others to join them. You know, one of the challenges that other businesses are facing working 24 hours is how much they can ensure security. And we say we'll provide the security. Is how much they can ensure enough capacity. We said we will support them with the capacity. You know, and et cetera, et cetera. How much do we have enough money to pay for electricity? We said we will support it to do so. It's simply just to boost production, create more opportunity for our people to work, and to ensure that we reshape the economy in a manner that is going to be work-based and production-based. Thank you.
Chairman, if we establish it as a policy, is it going to have a compulsory adherence? Because I believe the 24-hour, the need to work for 24 hours is always backed by demand and supply. If there's no demand for a particular service or goods, how do you develop a policy to drive this particular initiative? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I agree with you. You know, largely will be driven by the need for it. And we believe that several organizations have the need for it. Will want to have the 24-hour economy, you know, operate within their working space, except that they don't have the ability, the capacity, the support, direction from government. So we are targeting those organizations that will be willing to go the extra length in increasing production by increasing employment, you know, engaging our young people, and creating a situation where they can effectively be engaged. But this is largely for those who need it. And for government organizations, it will be backed by policy direction, meaning that there will be a certain compelling factor for some state public organizations to operate within that 24 hours. But for private people, it's a choice you can make. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll proceed to give the floor to Honorable Asante Boateng. Or you still have a substantive question? Please do.
Thank you, Chair. Minister designate, women express their concerns on the need to increase maternity leave. What are your intentions when giving the nod in respect of this subject matter? Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
This is a very, very important area, and I think it deserves further discussions, but I support it as a person. I support the affirmative action law, which we just passed. I work very hard to contribute to it. So it's an area that is interesting, and I believe many Ghanaians are going to support it. Thank you.
Any further question? Please, your last question, if this is not a follow-up.
Thank you, Chair. Minister designate, what plans do you have to make the National Service Scheme more attractive in terms of the allowances and job content? Thank you, Chair.
I wish the National Service Scheme was under my direct care, but it's not. But I have an overall task of ensuring that the Ghanaian worker is properly engaged, and by the dictate of the Constitution, Article 24(1), it tells that we should ensure the safety, health, and fair conditions for every worker. So I think that it is on that grounds I will support any direction that will help, increase the allowance of Ghanaian civil, national service workers.
Thank you, Chair. I'm done.
Thank you. A follow-up on the national service.
Yes.
But let me place this on record that it is now National Service Authority.
That was it.
We have passed the law.
It's okay.
Give the floor to Honorable Kwaku Asante Boateng.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Congratulations, my brother, for your nomination. And I want to put this on record that there's one appointment that I personally am happy and comfortable with. Because all in gathered here, most of us here, about 70%, may not be able to handle that ministry. Handling Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations require some specific personality. But you look at the composure of my brother, Honorable Pelpuo, his comportment ever since I've known him in this house. It takes somebody like him to handle labor matters. Like previously in the MPP government, we saw that of Honorable Ignatius Bafo Awua. And I must say that if you don't have that comportment and temperament and character, you will not be able to handle that ministry. So I believe the president was very careful, and it's a good nomination. I must say that. In selecting you to the labor ministry. And looking at your background, I have the belief that you have all that it takes to handle the ministry. But my first question, Honorable Chair, if you look at Section 13 of the Civil Service Act, 1993, the ministry that you're going to handle, you're supposed to initiate, but if I have the indulgence of the chairman, I may read. Chairman, I want to read a quote from the session.
Go ahead.
Initiate and formulate policies taking into account the needs and aspirations of the people. That's A, 13A. B, undertake development planning in consultation with the National Development Planning Commission. And C, which is critical, coordinate, monitor, and evaluate the efficiency and effectiveness of the performance of the sector. All of us know that looking at the working force in government sector, we have about 688 employees. But we also realize that there's low productivity. But if you go further, one of your key or critical issues as a function is to ensure fair and equitable wages and salary for employees of all sectors in the economy. In the light of low productivity, even some are advocating that we may have to even reduce.
Honorable Asante Boateng, your question, please.
How do you, in the context of low productivity of the public sector, try and ensure that there's fair and equitable wages for the sector, looking at the low productivity of of the sector at well. How do you superimpose the two?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm sure you are talking about fair payment for work done. Yeah, and the need to reconcile the fact that you are producing, you may not be producing hard enough to earn what you are doing, and how do we reconcile it? I think it's a major area we will tackle, and I'll be very happy to be, I'm happy I'm going to do it if you do approve my nomination, because it's a big question for all Ghanaians. You have quoted the number to less than 700 of public service workers. In the last visit to the ministry, they told me it's about 800. And given the 800 and given the output and the expenditure we make on production, we make in paying our workers, then you begin to wonder whether we should do something about it. I know that the Ghanaian worker is very conscientious, very hardworking, very committed, but we need a kind of policy direction to help him to produce more, so we can pay and know that we are paying something worth the while. So thank you. It's an area, very, very important area, and I thank you for this question. We would be committing ourselves to working at it.